Welcome back to the channel, my YouTube family. Welcome back to life behind the sticks. In today's episode, we're going to do a follow-up on our optimizing and enhancing your audio from last week. And today we're going to talk about noise reduction and how you can manage all those pesky noises that might interrupt your recordings or your stream or whatever. Should be good. Let's do it. So if you're like me, my studio, my gaming room, whatever you want to call it, isn't controlled. Since I've moved the setup into a new location, I don't have the luxury of shutting the door and having a room that is controlled. So what tends to happen sometimes is that you get background noises, the TV, that annoying barking dog, that hoon that comes flying past and wants to do donuts or whatever, kids running around. It could be anything. So what I'm going to show you today is how you can minimize at least that noise in the background. It might be the AC, might be the fan, it could be a whole lot of things. How you can minimize that noise in the background with some plugins. And stick around to the end because I'll also show you how to do that in OBS if you're streaming or you're recording with OBS. And yeah, every so often you're on a good roll, you're recording a good amount of content, and then all of a sudden some weird noise happens in the background and just completely ruins it. So hopefully you'll get something out of this. We will show you with kind of just the effects that you can use, and we'll also show you some plugins that you can get for free that will help with this problem. Okay, let's go over to the desktop and let's talk a little bit about noise reduction. So we're back in Audio Hijack today, and as you can see, nothing much changed since last week, apart from the fact that we've added this extra little cube in here called the Denoise. And what you might not be able to tell is that I actually have a fan running in the background. I have a TV on in the other room, and you're probably hearing very little background noise. In fact, the fan is just sitting right next to me. So if I go to this Denoise and actually switch it off, which I will do in a second, and I'm dead quiet, you'll hear what I'm talking about. So we're going to switch it off now. And then we'll switch it back on, and you can hear the difference in noise. So what this effectively does is you are using something like a gate, if you like, a frequency, and what you do with this particular plugin is that it learns what the background noises are, or the frequencies that you want to cut out, and then it'll stop those coming through your microphone, which is quite nice. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of very, very good applications for this, especially when you're recording and the environment that you've got isn't as controlled as you'd like, or the phone rings, somebody decides to do a burnout right next to you, whatever it might be. Denoise is a really nice addition to your audio setup. Now you got to be a little bit careful with this, because the more noise reduction that you start to apply, it does start to affect your mic volume. So it's one thing to watch out for. So you need to rebalance that in your software. And I would certainly encourage you to be having this plugin or this effect on, if you can, in your software as you're recording, rather than trying to do it in post. You can do it in post, but it's much better if it's on your captured audio as you are doing it. Now, as is the case sometimes with the software that has an auto function in it, you might need to tweak this just a wee bit to get it to work properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull that all the way back like that. I'm going to switch it off, switch it back on, and I'm going to get it to unlearn the noise and learn the noise. And there you go, it's learned the noise, and you'll see the level of noise reduction now compared to where I had it. It's quite significantly different. And so what you can do with these noise plugins, noise reduction plugins, is you can manually set it, and that's what I've done in this case. I had to push it all the way up. It's about 36, I think, somewhere around there to get this to work properly. So just play around with the noise reduction filter, and there's also the second slider there, noise floor, and monitoring noise floor, and just play around with those until you get the right level for you. So unfortunately, as I did this, as my recording was distorting as the effect was kicking in and out, so I had to replace the audio, and it didn't record as I wanted it to. But you get the idea how this works. A little bit fiddling around to be done, but once you do that, you can save it as a preset. You don't have to worry about it ever again, and you're good. So one of the best free plugins, denoiser plugins, is the Bertom denoiser, and that works in a slightly different way. Basically, what you do is pull all those down and have an output so you can hear this, and then slowly what you do is just to start to pull these up until you can actually hear the noise in the background, and that's set. And you do that for each channel, almost like a graphic equalizer. So there's a number of options out there. I will leave this particular one down in the description so you can check it out for your own particular the software that you're using. But the next thing I wanted to show you is I wanted to go over to OBS and show you how you can do some noise reduction when for your microphone for streaming and recording. Okay, so here we are in OBS, and this is pretty simple to do. All you have to do is, you can see I've got my Blue Yeti microphone set up here. All I have to do is go all the way over, and I apologise, I don't know why it's not showing this window fully, but all you have to do is go across to this little cog on your microphone and click on it like that, and it'll bring up a little menu. You need to find the filters menu. And again, as we showed you in the last episode, you can see I've got a number of filters, a limiter on this, but the noise suppression is there. You click into it, and it will give you a couple of presets that you can use. You don't have to fiddle around with anything. It's quite easy. You got RN noise, good quality, more CPU usage, or low CPU usage, low quality. Up to you. Fiddle around with both of these. These options might be different on Windows. This is obviously a Mac version, but click on those, play around with them, see what works best for you. I usually use the good quality one to get the maximum out of it. And that's all you really have to do in OBS. It's set for you in the background, and it just runs. And you can actually use this on Streamlabs as well in the same way. So as you can see, you don't need a lot of fancy software. You could actually, and I do a lot of recording on 360 flashbacks from intros in OBS. You can set up your microphone with a number of the different effects that we spoke about last week, and you can do your recording that way if you need to. You don't need to spend a lot of money. OBS, of course, is absolutely free to download and use. And yeah, it is a good alternative for you. It's yet another program to add to consideration for doing your voiceovers. I think the only downside to OBS is probably that it won't output audio out on its own. So there you go, guys. That's all I had to say on noise reduction plugins or effects for your audio. Of course, there are always the option of applying noise reduction after the fact, once you've done your audio, and certainly that is an option. As I said earlier, I prefer to have the noise reduction on as I'm recording, but you may not have that luxury. So again, check out the software you're using, have a look in the effects panel, just see if there is a noise reduction option there. We've kind of given you the basics of how it works, so apply some noise reduction to some audio files and just play around with it and see if it works for you. It will save you time, because there's nothing worse than having to stop your recording in in the middle and wait for noise to die down, or wait for the next door neighbour's dog to stop barking, or whatever it might be, answer a phone call. So it will save you some time and it will save you some headaches, and hopefully in that respect it's been useful for you. If it has, leave me a comment down below. If there's anything you're stuck on, let me know in the comments section. If you're not subscribed and you're finding this series useful and informative, so hit the subscribe button. Put the bell on so that you get all the notifications when the series comes up. And we will catch you next time on Life Behind the Sticks. See ya.